Hi, Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. So today is the 5th day and it is the assembly day of the Winter Flurries mystery quilt. So we're going to put it together. You should have left P and Q. Those are the strips that we're going to put around this quilt. Now let me mention before we get over there and start sewing that you still have all these little half square triangles if you did them. And you also now have a bunch of red ones if you did them. I have decided not to put them on the back of the quilt. I'm going to keep mine because I want to build my stash. The first thing that I want to say is I don't think that I told you how to square this up, another way to square it up. But let me go ahead and fit it in real quick here at the very beginning. If you do not have a 12.5-inch ruler, this is what you can do. On this ruler, I went to 3 1/4, and your side units, put your ruler down, back it up a little bit here, and you put your 4 1/4 on this seam right here. This is the seam that makes up the side. If you do that and you have any hanging over, like this right here, let's say you have this, I'm gonna put it on, hold on one second. I'm gonna put it on 3 to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I have it on 3. What you do is you look down here and you have it on your 3 1/4, okay, for this one block. As long as it's down to 3 1/4, then you just take your rotary cutter and you just cut it all the way down. And constantly do that. Just flip 3 1/4 for this size. Flip it, 3 1/4 for that. Flip it again, 3 1/4. It will be squared, okay? Because these are 3 1/4. All of them are, all 4 sides. That's just another way to do it without using a square ruler to do it. And maybe that's easier for you to understand. Maybe it's easier for you to do. Then if for some reason you go, I can't do that because I can't hold my ruler. My ruler keeps slipping. Well, what you do, this is the reason I have a weight up here, is put it on there. When you get it lined up, you get ready to cut it, put your weight on this end, and then you got it lined up, and then just cut it, just like that. Okay, that's it. You're done. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to connect 2 geese, and we're going to make 4 of them. You want to make sure that when you sew them, you sew it on this side here where you can see the nose so that you don't accidentally go through the nose and chop it off and not have your point. That's what I'm calling his nose. Some people might call it his entire head. To me, it's a nose. And if you want to mark it with a friction pin, you can do that too. Check and make sure you didn't take his nose off. Looks good. Now we'll go over here and iron. Get done sewing them up. You'll have all 4 of them. The next step is we're going to be putting 2 with our granny square blocks, and I'll show you here in a second. As I start pulling down the second blocks, these granny square blocks, I'm going to put it up here on the table so you can see it. See all the ends of it? Let me get a... Notice right here, it's an opening. I don't know why that happened like that, but that's not enough distance to be caught in the seam, because here it had to be below that, so I'd have to be down here at a 1/8 inch. So I have to take all these out. So I'm looking at this block trying to figure out, first off, why did it even do that? I don't understand because I followed the directions. I don't know if this happened to anybody else. But if it did, I'm going to show you how to fix it because I'm having to fix all 4 of these squares. So the first thing you do is you take, they're considered the corner up here at the top, off of each end. So I took every one of those off. Okay. Then I had to go ahead and cut 3 5/8 inch fabric again, little squares, because that's the size of these. So I cut 4 for every one, so that was 16 of them. I sewed it on like this. And I will show you with this last one how I did it. So this is the good side. And I laid my fabric on it like this so that it would cover these 2 little pieces. Okay, I flip it over. I'm going to put it on this design board so it's off the white here. So I flipped it over. And I laid it down so that I can see a piece of the fabric up here and a piece of the fabric down here. See it down there? Same thing with the top up here. It's overlapping. And then I sewed it across the seam there. So let me show you this one over here that I got done. There's what it looks like. Let me pick up the camera a minute here. So it looks like this. Okay. Then I took the next one, flipped it upside down, and I cut. I've done just one here. I cut the 1/4 inch because this is where my seam is already. So then I'll take this one. Whoops, I did that one there. That one there, and not that one. So I laid it down like this. I'm hiding my ruler here. Put the ruler right on top of that seam like that. And then rotary cut it like that. You're left with something that looks like this. Then you're going to take all of these, fold them over, and iron them before you cut them off again. So hold on one second. Now you take it, get a little bit bigger ruler, longer ruler, and you're going to lay it up against where this has already been cut. And you're going to trim it, turn it, lay it again, trim it, and trim it one more time so you've got all 4 sides. Whoops, I missed a side. Number 4 over here. And that's it. And you've got it, all 4 of them done. Now, I do not know for the life of me how that other one turned out the way it did. I have no idea how that thing came out with all these edges cut off. I have no idea. Because I did it just like the directions, but I had to have done something wrong. I don't know what it was. But now this is the way it should be before we start putting the flying geese on it. So now I'll get back to doing that. Okay, so we're going to sew these 2 together. And keep in mind there's 3 spots you're looking for. You're looking for the first spot right here, not to go through that nose. And then over on this side, which if you have enough light on your machine, you'll be able to see it. If you don't, go ahead and mark it. Just put a mark so that you know that you're going to go at least on that marker above so that you don't accidentally sew over it. And we're going to do all 4 of them like that. Then we're going to iron them open. And just take your time so you don't go over it. take a look and see if we got to come closer. And nope, that should do it. I did not go, whoops. Let's back it up a bit. And there you can tell I did not go over any of my points. All right, so do them all, iron them up, and we'll have those 4 things done. We're going to set it up like this. We have a block on the left and the right of a geese and a, oh my gosh, I drew a blank. Granny square. So the geese are going up, granny square is on the top. Then in the next row, the geese are going down and the granny square is at the bottom. But keep in mind that these corners right here are all going towards the middle here. Now this is just 2 strips that I'm doing. This isn't how it's laid out. This is just 2 of these. Okay, so let's go ahead and sew all that together. All right, I have taken the block. I took the granny square and flying geese, and I've pinned it, and now we're going to sew it. Now be aware, when you pin it, you want to make sure that the granny square is on the top facing up, because you want to make sure you don't go over your corners and cut them off. Now we're going to pin this next block and flip this one upside down because of all the granny square up here at the top. Because I want to be able to see that when I go across it so I don't accidentally chop some corners off. Okay, and there we go with that one. Let's get the next one down before we iron this one. There's the top, there's the middle, and there's the bottom. So if you look at all those flying geese, they're all going away from each other. That's how you know you have it correctly on your layout. So let's just sew these rows together. All right, I've got it all pinned. There's a lot of pins in this one. Don't feel like you're using too many pins. If you're one of those people that like to use clips, then you can use clips. Anything to hold it together. Just take your time. Well, I got close to my tip down there, but I'm not too worried about it. Yep, maybe not. Okay, after I iron it'll look nice. All right, go ahead and pin your next row and finish it up. Now you're going to put the border on. You start with the side ones first. Pin it on the back side so that you can see all these intersections so you don't go over them when you're putting the border on. For those that need a quick refresher course. So here's the back of the fabric. Here is my side. I have my top and my bottom on. Go ahead and iron this, and then what I do is I fold it in half one time. I'm putting a crease in it. And then the right side is going to go towards facing up. I take this, I fold it in half, because I'm going to put a crease in it because this is where the middle's at, right there. And then I take and lay it right sides together, put it in the crease there, and then I pin it. And then what I normally do is I go from left to right. So I pin it here at the end. And then I just start going up the left. And I get all of these intersections. If you prefer to split it up, you can go about in the middle here. And pin it everywhere you think you need it. And I do a lot of pinning when it comes to this, because you got so much pulling on it. And this is a little bitty border. It's not wide at all. And then I'll pin here where my intersection's at, right here. Then I move it down. And then I go back all the way to the corner here, and I pin it. Just take my time. Stick another one right here. And that's it. Just take it over to the sewing machine and sew it. But before I do that, I'll go ahead and I'll bring up the other end and I'll repeat the same process. So now all four sides are sewn on. And after the first two, I did this process, which I'm going to do now in case you've forgotten or you're just now tuning in. So you go ahead and iron wherever you just sewed. So here's where my new piece I added on for the border. So all I'm doing is I'm relaxing the threads and ironing this. Flip it over. And then slowly open it up, and as you open it up, your fabric is going to stay there. It's not folding under. So you'll be able to see it through your white fabric there. And just go down the whole thing. And if you want to use steam, you can use steam. And you do it to both sides. When you get done, if you want to measure it, it should equal 33 inches. Give or take. Doesn't have to be perfect. If it doesn't equal that, that's fine. And that's all there is to it, and it's done. I'm going to put it up here on the design wall so you can see it. All right, there it is. This is what yours should look like. Just like that. All done. Completed. It's really nice looking. It came out really good. And tomorrow we are going to put it on the table, and I'm going to show you how to sandwich that together so we can quilt it. You can quilt it by hand. You could even tie it off if you wanted to. That'd look pretty good tied off, actually. Or quilted, whatever you want to do. So I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you want to make a comment about it, by all means, go ahead, make a comment. And after I get it totally quilted and everything, I'll put it up on my Facebook as well as my website. So until next time, which is tomorrow, see you then. Bye-bye.